Good afternoon, everyone. I am Manali, Professor Manali. Welcome to the plenary session. Welcome you all to the plenary session 4 of International Conference on Sustainable Practices in Rapidly Changing Business Scenarios. Our speaker for the session is CA Dr. Viswanathan.P. Sir, is a prominent figure in integrating traditional Indian wisdom with modern business practices. As a CEO of Vyoma Linguistics Lab Foundation since June 2018, he leads initiatives that bridge ancient knowledge with contemporary management strategies. His professional journey spans over 2 decades, featuring key roles at global companies including Unilever, where he served as Senior Manager for Group Reporting and Financial Controls, and Shell Finance Operations as Senior Manager for Assurance. He also held significant positions at EIAV Agricultural Ventures and KPMG, working on financial controls, risk management, and SAP implementation. Dr. Viswanathan is also a distinguished researcher, contributing to journals with studies on corporate governance and financial management inspired by Valmiki's Ramayana and Kautilya's Arthashastra. I hope you people have heard about these. This innovative approach has earned him several accolades, including the Best Paper Award at major conferences and recognition for his contributions to financial controls and efficiency improvements. Actively involved in academia, he regularly participates in conferences and workshops, offering insights on integrating traditional management concepts with modern business challenges. Before I call Sir for starting this session, out of curiosity, I just wanted to ask Sir that when the other 2 speakers were delivering their speech, you were continuously making some notes. And I was observing that. I just want you to share your thought behind that. And how can these be helpful for, you and us also. Okay, sure. I request Shiv Kumar Sir to please welcome Sir Viswanathan Sir with sapling and a book. Thank you.
गुरुरेव गतिर्गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो. Salutations to everybody. First of all, thanking the organizers, our Professor Srinidhi Mahodaya, Sridhar Murthy Mahodaya, Keshav Sir, Shiv Kumar, and all the staff, and Bhagini who did a beautiful introduction. So thank you everybody. And it is like some of the speakers already told, from a speaker perspective, if you see, it is a very interesting, challenging, and also a great moment for us speakers to spend time with such bright minds in the today's education world. So we always consider this as a very good opportunity to interact, know what is the thinking which you are having and how corporate world is already looking into it, and the world of academia is also looking into it. So all of these 3, when it comes together, that comes together in a conference like this. And that is why it is a mutually interesting place to be. And so thank you to everybody who gave us this opportunity. So to start off, let us have a few small, very easy questions. So many of us start the day when we get up with some shloka in the morning, or we have to get up with some shloka in the morning which has been told during our childhood. Anybody can tell what is that shloka, where it comes? Yes. Beautiful. Prabhate Karadarshanam. So good. Claps again for our Biju Mahodaya. Right? So, Karagre Vasate Lakshmihi, Karamadhye Saraswati, Karamule Sthita Gauri, Prabhate Karadarshanam, Govindaha. Both versions are there. So, this is the shloka which we start our day with. Okay. So, the next question, after we start with this is the first shloka. Then as we step our foot on the ground, we have one more shloka. Here I suppose he already knows it. Anybody else who wants to volunteer? What is the second verse or shloka we start our day with? This is the cue. Okay. Or probably it is also very closely related to sustainability. Yeah. What is the shloka we start with? The second shloka. Anybody can help? At least what the shloka talks about. Okay. So, Samudra Vasane Devi Parvatastana Mandite Vishnu Patni Namastubhyam Padasparsham Kshamaswame. So, we are saluting Mother Earth and taking her permission to use her resources. To stepping on her means using the resources, using the benefits available. That is the second part. Yeah, we'll just give a minute for everybody to come and settle down. Come, please come. Yeah. Pardon. That is the Kshamaswame. That is the word which is there actually. Padasparsham Kshamaswame. The last line which Biju Mahodaya used, he said, we out of 8.4 billion, we are the most evolved. So the most evolved starts with the forgiveness and with the gratitude. So that is where our evolution should be displayed. Okay, I hope everybody is settled now. Okay, thank you. Okay, the next one, when we take a bath, how many of you there? It's a group of river names. Yes, we have our photographer Bhagini telling it so beautifully. Yeah. Who can tell which are the rivers which we remember every day when we take bath and we are grateful for that? Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra. Okay. Right. Kaveri. Yes, from where we all get our water. So, which is the shloka? Gangecha, Yamune Chaiva, Godavari Saraswati. Two versions in this again. Kaveri Narmade Sindho, Jalesmin Sannidhim Kuru. This is the shloka we start. And whenever we talk about India, Bharat Mata, again there is a very famous shloka. So, people who have done a personality development camp in Shakas know this probably. This shloka goes as Ratnakara Dhautapadam Himalaya Kiritinim Brahmarajarshi Ratnadhyam Vande Bharata Mataram. So there we have spoken about around 4 shlokas which are as a part of our daily life. Every day we start our day, it is interwoven. These kind of shlokas are there. The question is there any link to these practices and sustainability? Do we feel yes or no? Any thoughts? Yes, there is a link. We may have some more data about this in the next few slides. To give the concept or the problem statement, last 2 days we have been discussing about this. The problem statement in the world, if you have to make a list, for that we start with the KPMG report. What are the top 10 regulatory challenges? So this presentation talks about one challenge called as, in sustainability you have something called sustainability reporting. How do you actually report your practices and how do you present it to your shareholders and the other stakeholders? How do you do it? So there is a challenge in the world of accounting and the world of finance as to how do you present it. So in KPMG, this is climate change and ESG was at number 3 in 2021 under a red category. Then in 2023, again when we came and we saw the same report, it moves to number 2 position with other areas, linked areas, transparency of reporting, fraud, and also governance, risk and governance. So all these 4 areas are closely related, and all of these are part of the KPMG top 10 regulatory challenges. So that is the overall global context which the problem statement we are talking about. Within that, when we all know climate change is a problem and the accounting profession is trying to help by giving a very factual reporting as to what companies are doing. Companies have to really report as to what they are doing about sustainability. Just like a report which our Harish Mahodaya very beautifully shared, the activities which Page Industries is doing. Similarly, this all gets presented into the annual report and you have a sustainability report. That is the area which we are discussing. But within that report, today if you take something like a profit and loss balance sheet, you have rules for it. What is the top line sales? Then how do you deduct expenses? You arrive at your bottom line profit before tax. Then you have your EBITDA, then you come to a profit after tax. All of these. There are rules and the whole world follows this. And your balance sheet, you have your sources of funds, application. That is your, earlier we used to study assets and liabilities. Now you have source and applications of funds. So this is also globally accepted. Now come to sustainability. When you come to sustainability, do you have a statement like this which is globally accepted? So if somebody says, I have planted 5 trees, somebody says, I have saved so much of water, somebody says, I have donated to so many schools or to orphanages or to women children, which of these is better? Which of these is complete by itself? So in profit and loss, you can compare 200 companies and say, this company's profit is more, therefore they are doing better. But in sustainability, can you do that? Do you have something like that? Is the first point. So that is where when it comes to sustainability reporting, different companies, different entities are actually reporting on their own thinking as to what exactly is sustainability. So therefore, the first problem statement is, one, there is a lack of clarity as to what exactly, if I report these 10 things, 100 things, all of us will be same, will be comparable. So consistency. And 1 year it is about plantation, afforestation. 1 year it is about women empowerment. 1 year it is about different things. So the parameters also keep changing in some companies. Right? So consistency, completeness and comparability. These are the problems which are being faced in ESG reporting or the sustainability reporting. Earlier there was a concept called triple bottom line. I'm not sure how many of you have heard about it. Triple bottom line. The triple bottom was profit, planet and people. All the 3 had to come together. Now it was introduced by a person called John Elkington in 1994. He said, just like your financial statements, you should have a statement for planet, for profit, and all. So 3 bottom lines are required. Instead of the top line and the bottom line for profit is clear, for others also you require. And you need to present it, he said. But then, what is bottom line in that? Nobody could get to the exact way of doing it. Because each one had their own definitions of top lines and bottom line with respect to environment or planet and with respect to people. So this was the problem in 1994. And the most interesting part is, when he introduced, 1,500 companies adopted it. They started reporting and adding it in their statements, including Shell also. And later what happened, he went through this motion for around 25 years. After 25 years, he writes another Harvard article and says, I am recalling this concept called a triple bottom line because I need to go back to the whiteboard and do some more strategies. because what I initially thought and what is being followed is not the exact envisage what had been done. So I need to relook at it, and now ESG has come over, they will take over, and he took it back. So the concept itself was not sustainable beyond 25 years. So that was the greatest irony of that concept, which we saw. So these are some of the challenges which are there. And today if you see the sustainability reporting landscape, this is not the entire piece of sustainability, this is only the reporting part. You have various frameworks, you have protocols, you have ratings, regulations. Now the question is, which industry, what should I follow in this, and which if I follow, I will not have any questions, or my shareholders will be happy, stakeholders will be happy, I can get all the certifications or approvals properly, is the question which I am sure Page Industries, Navio or many other companies, all of us have this challenge ahead of us. So, and like if you see, this is the landscape how it actually emerged. From a carbon disclosure project to the CDSB, the board which was there, to IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards. Many of the finance people would be looking at it. Like how we have the accounting standards in India, there is a International Financial Reporting Standards. They have also come up with standards on sustainability standards. So many different organizations are there. Each of them have their own standards. Each of them tell my standards is the best. This is most comprehensive. You implement it. But when you have doubts or clarifications while implementing those standards, they don't have clarifications. They are like, as an industry, you make your own best practices. You put your assumptions and follow it. While that is a good amount of independence in reporting, but when you have to compare, when you have to see the reportings between multiple companies, you have a challenge. And that is where we thought, okay, now let us come to the Indian knowledge systems. Why Indian knowledge systems? Because this is that knowledge which has stood the test of time. Do you have any civilization which has gone through more than 5,000 years of continuous evolution? That is the Indian civilization. And the knowledge which is there with that civilization, largest population from an Afghanistan to the Indonesia, this is the population which has sustained with this knowledge. So you have a large population, large cohort, different types of people, multiple cohorts, and a very long time based knowledge which has stood, that can help with some answers to solve these problems. That is the problem statement we start with for this research. Now within that, what are the problems? Like we said, first thing is, like in finances, we have sales, cost of goods sold, cost of sales, expenses, marketing expenses. You have defined parameters which are there, very easily deductible. For sustainability, what are those parameters? Do you have a list like that? Okay. If you come with the list, do you have definitions for that which everybody agrees? Somebody talks about green finance. Everybody has their own definition. Somebody talks about being carbon neutral. That neutrality definition is different between every industry, every company within that industry, every country also. So parameters. Similarly, can this be part of the main business itself, or along with business you also need to take care of sustainability? Is it a priority work or a part-time department which is there? That is one more question we have. Apart from that, when I was in Unilever, there was always a concept called profit with purpose. That always seemed an oxymoron for us. Because coming from an Indian knowledge system, we will see later, profit without purpose was never called profit at all. So the whole definitions were different actually. If you did profit by killing someone, can you call it as profit? That is a question mark in Indian knowledge systems. We will see about it more. Right? And then measurement mechanism. So like I said, between Page, between Navio and between NSB, if they plant 5 trees and here somebody is actually donating to an orphanage, somebody is actually saving water. Between the three, what is the measurement, unified measurement system? That is the question. Similarly, should it be top-down approach? Very beautiful survey results which Biju Mahodaya gave. 42% and 72% people are being pressurized at different parameters. CEOs are being pressurized to follow sustainability. So should it be top-down or bottoms up from their childhood itself? Should it be inculcated? The examples which he gave, simple aerator example, which our Harish Mahodaya gave, 25 rupee can save lot of water and therefore contribute to sustainability. So those kind of things also are there. Finally, window dressing. We see all the balance sheets of companies. We see their annual reports, the sustainability reports. So it's very beautiful. But even to print that the brochure which they have done, you can see how much of emissions or how much of carbon deficit they would have done to print that brochure itself. It will be so heavy with lot of glossy paper. More than 200 GSM paper would be used for that. So that itself is an irony for that sustainable report actually, right? So these are the questions or practices we need to think, and that is where we come to the Indian knowledge system. This chart is just a representative knowledge available in our Bharatiya Jnana Parampara or the Bharatiya management thought, which can give you information about sustainability. Starting from the Vedas to the Vedangas to the Ramayana, Mahabharata, Itihasas, the 18 Puranas, the Panchatantra, which looks like an animal fable, but the kind of knowledge in Panchatantra can be used for our administration, politics, Niti Shastra, Rajadharma. You can use it in many places, even for a basic value education system. Right? And then the Kautilya Arthashastra, Manusmriti, the Darshanas, both the Jaina Sutras and the Buddha Sutras, they also have lot of knowledge on the entire area of governance, sustainability, economics and various areas. This is from the BCA. Similarly in the AD, you have lot of knowledge which is there. This is only a sample representative. Like this, we need to have a comprehensive bibliography. Now from all of these, if we take the essence, so we have the problem statements, we have the essence knowledge. Let us try to map and see if we can get some solutions. That is the attempt in the next few minutes. So the first challenge is, do you have a list of parameters which everybody in the world will agree for sustainability? Of course, yes. ESG, take all the three, planet, people and profit. When you come to planet, Panchabhutas, which everybody has to agree. The whole world is made up of the 5 elements, and whatever is in the world is in the human body also. We are also made of the 5 elements. So first definition of the parameters is the 5 elements. So when any company is talking about sustainability, they have to parameterize it and talk about all the 5 and not just one out of these 5 elements. That is how we are going to look at these parameters. So it is an agreeable, universally agreeable parameter, and everybody has to report on this. Similarly, when you come to the society, ESG, the societal goals or the purusharthas which are there in the Indian knowledge systems, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, all the 4 are interlinked to each other. That is, you cannot have an artha which is not prescribing to dharma. You cannot have a kama purushartha which is not as per the dharmic principles, right? So that is how closely those 4 are knit. And this is again a societal goal which everybody would adhere to. Those are universal in nature. It is not country specific. It is not caste specific, religion specific. There is nothing religious in the entire thing, whatever is being in the Indian knowledge system. Similarly, when you come to the governance, in Kautilya's Arthashastra, and you can see it in Ramayana also, you have the Saptanga. I'm sure many of you would have read this or seen the book by Professor Radhakrishnan Pillai on corporate Chanakya. So he deals with this in that. The 7, if you talk about 7 components of governance, the leader or the king called as Swami, the minister or the councillors called as Amatya, then the geographical population or the entire customers, which is the Janapada, Then Durga is the infrastructure, security, all of this is the Durga. Kosha is your treasury or finance. And then Danda is the legal, your controls, internal audit, workforce, the Sainya when it comes to a country. And finally Mitra, which is your allies, associates, partners, and the competitors also. Mitra comes with the flip side, the Shatru also. So these are the 7 components of governance. So E, S, G. Within this G, you have all the 7 which universally everybody will agree. So you have a list of parameters from the Indian knowledge systems which everybody agrees. So first question seems to be a tick. Again, this is a proposition from our side, open for challenges from the industry people, right? The next is definitions. So now what constitutes each of these? When you go, beautiful definitions from the Vedas, etani va panchamaha bhutani, they go, and what is vayu, what is akasha, everything is defined. Swami, amatya, they are defined, purusharthas are defined. All of this over a period of time, it has been defined, it has evolved, it has been further adjusted to the social context. Because in our Indian knowledge system, you have a beautiful concept. This is a very important concept to know. The 3-tier structure of knowledge. The Vedas are called as the constitutions. They will tell you Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara and leave it to you. Now how do you follow it? A Ramayana comes there, a Mahabharata will come there and tell you this is how you have to follow through a case study. And then you have a Kavya, a Raghuvamsha, Kumara Sambhavam, all the Kalidasa's Kavyas, which will tell you while doing it what all you have to ensure and adhere to. So the constitutional Vedic knowledge is called as Prabhu Samhita, which is the constitutional part. The Itihasa Puranas, epics, they are called as the Suhrit Samhita, the friendly knowledge. And the third is beautifully called as Kanta Samhita, or a spouse knowledge. So most of you in future you will realize how it is. You will be always thinking that you are doing what you want to do, but very secretly the spouse will actually be directing you to do what you want to do. That is the beauty of Kanta Samhita. So in a very subtle way it will tell you, and it will also make you do what it wants without even advising you. That is how Kanta Samhita Kavyas work actually. That is the beauty in the Indian knowledge system, and all of this is being defined. The third problem we had, prioritization. In Indian knowledge system, very clear. Apo vai sarva devataha. Water is a god. You cannot disrespect it. You cannot waste it. Namaste vayo tvameva pratyaksham brahmasi. Upanishad says, O Vayu, you are the pratyaksha Brahma. I salute to you. So when you give that level of a sacredness, that level of a priority importance, you will never dilute it, you will never waste it, you will never disrespect it. Automatically there is and this comes from young age to you. So that priority, that mandatoriness, sacredness starts coming. There are a lot of supporting evidence to it. Fourth problem, when you come, is it a part-time or is it already inculcated into your daily practices? That is where we started with our Karagre Vasate Lakshmi, Samudra Vasane Devi. How even as simple as brushing teeth, people used to take the twigs which are fallen from the neem and many other Ayurbalam Yasho Varchaha. So those kind of trees, and they used to do absolutely sustainable practices. No fluoride, no cancer, no problem. Very beautifully it was health benefit, like in one of his chart he said, cost reduction, employee engagement, society engagement, all of these were there. By following sustainability, you get multiple benefits, right? Very beautiful chart it was. All of these you can explain, and these are intervened into our daily lifestyle. It is not something new or additional which you have to practice and show that you have done this. So that is how the Indian knowledge brought it. And the other thing is about the definition of profit, which I was telling. Let us just see this. Today's definition of sustainability comes something like this. That is, you have people, planet and profit, and the mid area of this Venn diagram gets called as sustainability. What does it mean actually? It means that there is a portion For example, if you come to that, the portion here, if you come to a portion here, you are making profit, but it is not good for the planet. Then you are making profit which is not good for the people. So you still have a place, like if you see that portion, it is not good for planet. There is a portion, the only that circle takes care of planet. Then you have a profit which is not good for the people actually, right? But in Indian knowledge, if you do anything profit which is not good for planet or people, it is called papa. It is not called profit, right? So therefore it doesn't even get accepted to the mainstream. That those are the principles which he has started Nevio with. He said non-negotiable principles with which I started, right? So all of these, whatever I am saying, they both have actually they are practicing it. That is the beauty. That those were the notes I was making. So she was asking me what notes you are making. I was making the notes on what has already been practiced actually. So that is where, and there is this entire portion. This profit, if you see the big portion, is not friendly to planet, is not friendly to people. That is how today's scenario is, and that cannot be profit at all. So therefore, you need a different model where if you are making profit, it has to be within planet, within people. Your profit should be in the center, not sustainability being at the center. That is where the model we have actually changed the model, we'll present it. Now the other point is, the question is, can you bring all of this into one measurement, like profit and loss? In sustainability, can you tell profit sustainability, loss sustainability? Can you show something like that? Yes, Indian knowledge system has that. All of us keep talking about it, or we keep making fun about it. We have punya karma, papa karma, which is the merit based acts, the demerit based acts, and it is a master list. And this can go across our life, across Janmas also. He started with Srinidhi Parthasarathy's thing saying, an unaccomplished soul will ensure that it comes till it accomplishes. That is where Biju started his lecture with. So that way we do have a list which can be one standard list of all merits, standard list of all demerits. And this can be added, it is additive in nature. Right? So that is also available in the Indian knowledge systems. And similarly, this is the golden rule. Very important for all of us in our life. We have to understand this rule. In income tax, what do we do? Past years losses we set off with current years. Carry forward and set off profit and losses. Many income tax students are here. Right? But in Indian knowledge, your merits and demerits you cannot set off. Such a beautiful concept, if that can be implemented to sustainability, wherein on one side we have our affluents, all the wastewater being discharged into the rivers. On other side you say I have planted 5 trees. Can both of these be set off? Absolutely no. For this, whatever fine, whatever atonement, whatever you need to make it. For the other side, you get your brownie points or your good points. So this concept again is a very, very important concept in bringing sustainability, both acting as a deterrent and also helping implement sustainability. Once you bring this concept of no set off in life, papa, punya, you cannot do set off. Obviously people, the consciousness will raise, people will become more aware and implement it better. So that is where we are talking about a beautiful concept in Indian knowledge system. Similarly, can everybody implement it? In the Ramayana we saw from Dasharatha to the last person implemented it. Similarly, in the implementation from the childhood stage to the householder, to the hermit, to the sannyasi, whoever, all of them implemented sustainability. It was not the responsibility of a few corporates to implement sustainability, but every individual must implement it. That is how the Indian knowledge system comes, right? And similarly, the last few points is today's entrepreneurial models when somebody starts a new business and you take a proposal, one of the first question the investor asks, what is your exit strategy? Right? When you start with an exit strategy that I will exit in 3 years or 5 years, what is the going concern mindset or sustainability mindset you will have? How much will you be bothered about how much did you contribute to the environment? You will obviously be worried about your profits, getting your money, giving it to the investor, taking the remaining and starting the next venture. That is the kind of mindset which is there. But when you come to the Indian knowledge systems, anything you take from the civilization has stayed for 6,000 years. From the Ramayanas, from the Mahabharatas, Vedas, everything talks about eternity, infinite stay. When anybody talks that this has to be there, let the organization, if somebody is going to bless NSB and its students from the Indian traditional system, they will say, let you be there till Surya Chandra Iro Vargu, you will be there. So talking itself is like that. Till sun, moon, stars, till planets, till the mountains and rivers are there, may you all be happy. That is the kind of blessing. That was the mindset. So it was never built to exit, built to exist. That is the mindset in the Indian knowledge systems. And finally, today we see the report, what is there, is entirely different from what is happening inside the company. So instead of that, that is where transparency and reporting is one of the topmost challenges today. And a simple concept of Trikarana Shuddhi in the Indian knowledge systems, which is being pure, or what you actually show in your words is what you are thinking and what you are acting upon. So when Harish ji was presenting, we could see the genuineness in what he was presenting. 20 years he has been in that. He said, this is how we believe, this is how we have implemented it. That conviction was there. That is the kind of conviction you should have in sustainability. It is not just that year end, during March or April, you just prepare a report, do some activities and show that you have done sustainability as a part of your corporate practices. That is not the kind of thing. That is where this triangle is important. Now if we bring all of this into one model, the final conclusion, how it appears. You have the Indian knowledge repository. For that, the first layer is your environment or the planet layer. Within that you have the people layer, the Purusharthas. Within that you have the Saptangas or the governance layer. And within that you have the triangle or the Trikarana Shuddhi, reporting. And within that four, there sits sustainability. Sustainability is not like a Venn diagram. We have to come out from that kind of a thinking to this kind of a thinking where in the center of this entire thing, the nucleus, sustainability, and we have to take care of all of this. And this can answer lot of current problems at a conceptual level, right, to sustainability. And there are some more parts to this. In the internal controls also, there is a bigger part to the internal controls audit also to this model. But today, since we are talking about sustainability, I am only discussing that part of the overall model. But there is a bigger model. So finally, we have some questionnaires. We have a policy statement. Interesting questionnaire. That questionnaire will not come to one figure of sales minus profit as sales minus expense as profit. It will come to two. The positives and not so positives. Merit and you have two scores. It will not come to one bottom line. So that bottom line, single bottom line itself is an irony. You will have two scores, your merit score, your demerit score. And you have to work on these, making the demerit 0 and increase the merit score. That is where you need to work on. This mentality or thought process has to come. And this, we need to unearth more knowledge from our Indian systems, because you have it as a case study. There is a live civilization which has sustained for 6,000 years. Take from their learnings, implement it into the academia, what you are already doing, solve your current problems in the country and in the corporate. If we can bring it, we can bring the Bharatiya management thought to sustainability. Thank you. Any questions or thoughts? I don't know, how is the time? Are we good on time? Any questions, thoughts? Thank you so much. Sorry? Right. So, Krita Yuga. So, the timelines which are here, we need to go to both the timelines because there is a modern historian timeline and original timeline as per Indian knowledge systems. The Indian knowledge system believes in the Yuga concept. Krita Yuga or Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. So, but when we come to the modern timelines, they have a different timeline actually. So we have taken both. We don't want to fight with people on timelines. So we have taken both. It is called Krita Yuga or Satya Yuga. Both are. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such insightful words. How the way you connected sustainability with all these Vedas, Shastras, to tell us about the connection between planet, people, and profit. How can all these three be together? And I'm really thankful for such insightful. I'm sure that there is a lot more to explore in this field for us, and we are much far away from these things what you have already been through. Thank you so much. I would like to request Shiv Kumar sir to please felicitate sir with a memento. Everybody please. For all my dear students, I just want to let you know that it takes a lot of efforts and lot of dedication. Just for your information, sir, when sir was delivering his speech, he had removed his footwear also. So you can understand. We are really thankful for sir to come here and give his time.